Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name is Lucia and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Pearl of the Pacific. Welcome to episode 74. Today is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to everyone. If you are a mother or even if you're not, I hope you are enjoying your day. Especially if you're a mother, I hope you're taking time for yourself and that your family is taking care of you. And they should take care of you every day, but this is just a special occasion and a good excuse to make them take extra special care of you. So I hope you're all enjoying your day. I don't have any announcements this week except, for Below the Conch shell that I feel like we should have a knit along because we haven't had one in a while. And I've kind of been missing them. So I had a couple ideas. One that I mentioned a while ago when Jamie was on the podcast with me was to do a yarn bombing knit along, which I think would be really fun. The other one I thought about was a sock knit along, just any socks. Doesn't have to be any specific socks. And I think that one will coincide with the release of my sock pattern, which I know I've been talking about for a ridiculously long time. My plan is to finish that today and release that this week, same time. I've just been procrastinating it because I just really have to just sit down and do some editing and make the chart for the cable and some other simple, really little things, and it's done. So really the chart is what's taking me the longest time because all my previous charts I've done in Excel, Microsoft Excel, and but this one is a little trickier because Excel doesn't have cable symbols. I can make up my own, but that gets really confusing. I'd rather stick to some sort of standard so that it's easier for you guys, because I know for me, when I see a certain symbol, I'm like, oh, that's this kind of cable, and it's easier for me to read because I'm used to it. So I wanted to do that for you guys. And it's just something I have to figure out and do. So that's all. So I'll be announcing those when exactly they'll happen coming up, but just keep those in the back of your mind. Hi, Pan. Do you want to come say hi? I don't want to knock over the table. Not like you knock it over, but there's a very narrow ledge right there between the computer and the edge of the table. All right, so that's it for Below the Conch shell. Next we have On the Island, and I've been working on some things. I've had some time this week via meetings and other things. And so I've been working on my Autumn Fires socks by La Maison de Saba, and they are out of Knit Pig Stroll tonal in spring. They are coming along nicely. There's the heel, so I don't remember where I was last time, somewhere around here. I should put little markers in there. That would really help. But those are coming along, and if I do my standard matching thing, I'm almost done with this repeat. They're kind of half repeats. It's interesting because one whole leaf would be a repeat, but when you finish one whole leaf, then you're halfway through the next leaf. So I'm probably going to finish up this leaf and then maybe do another leaf on top of that, or maybe a half leaf and finish. Yeah, because I've just started this leaf right here. So maybe finish that leaf and then do a cuff. So those are going to be for my mommy, who is coming to visit the end of June with my father as well. So I get mommy and daddy. And so those have to be done by then. So I'm not in a huge rush, but they were easy take along project for me this week. So I took them along for a couple days and worked on them. So those are coming along nicely. Again, in my husband house bag. And the next thing, just go through the bucket here. In my fat squirrel bag is my Campside, which should get some attention. So I'm coming along through the second set of charts, and I don't know exactly how far I am, but I've still got a little ways to go. And it's pretty big so far. I mean, I can't really show it because it's all bunched up on the needles here, but I'm loving it so far. And the pattern is by Alicia Plummer, and the yarn is Sun Valley Fibers BFL DK in Antler. So that's coming along, and I really want to finish that. So I'm going to take that along. We have some all staff meetings this week. They're like all day affairs. So that'll get some attention. Pretty much all staff meetings mean that I have to dress up nicely. I mean, I kind of have to dress up every day, but this is like extra nice. And I get to knit all day. I mean, besides talking and being part of the all staff thing. But I'm just excited for the knitting time. I'm not going to complain too much. And so yeah, so that will be done soon-ish. And the new cast on for this week was my Syncopation socks, which are by Mary Henninger. I'm going to go with that. Out of Cascade Heritage in Real Black. And they are black, as you can see. And this is the Syncopation pattern, which I have done before. And it's just kind of a alternate rib pattern. You can see it there. It's a free pattern, and it's really simple. And you just kind of do, I think it's knit 3, purl 1 for 6 rounds, and then you, I guess it's knit 1, purl 1, knit 3, purl 1. So it just kind of alternates, but you always have one that's not, so it's like the, how do you describe this? It's the Weasley Homestead socks that I just finished were like knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, and then purl 3, knit 3, purl 3, knit 3. So whatever was purled for 6 rows now gets knit for 6 rows and then purled for 6 rows. Whereas this, you have one column of that's just staying knits, or you have 2 kind of beside each other, and then one in the middle that's like knit 6 rounds, purl 6 rounds, knit 6 rounds, but you always have these 2 knit columns. There we go. Okay, hopefully that made sense. So these are going to be for my choir director, because I always knit in choir, and so I thought, you know what, I think he needs a pair of socks. And I had this black already in my stash, and I thought, oh, that'll be perfect, because we have our choral festival coming up, and I thought it would be nice to kind of give these to him for that, so he could wear them for the performance, because they're black, and he wears a tux, so, because we all have to wear black too. Ta-da! So, those are coming along, and they're really quick. I mean, I cast them on one day, and I got up to here, and it was Thursday. So I went from here to here on Thursday, and then from here to here, I think, on Friday, and then I did a couple rounds yesterday. But that was with some meetings, and so they're really quick, which is good. I'm glad they're going really quick, because she has big man feet, and they need to be done in a couple weeks. So I'm not really concerned, but I do need to work on them. So those have kind of made it to the top of the priority list. And the other thing that I worked on yesterday was my Where's Wenda socks. And these are getting pretty tall. I'm surpassing my normal even foot and leg thing, because I need these to be really, really tall. So that's what I am doing. And I got, I don't know, 4 stripes done yesterday. And I'm doing some increases on the back of the leg there that you can kind of see. And I think I'm to the point where I'm going to knit straight for a while. I tried them on, and they're not as tall as I thought they were. I'm always like knitting forever. I'm like, oh, they've got to be almost to my knee. No, they're not even close. They're like halfway up my calf. So I've got a ways to go on these, which is fine. I've got plenty of yarn, so I'm not really worried. But I'm going to knit straight for a little while, and then at some point I'll probably do some more increases depending on how they're fitting. I'll just keep trying them on and seeing where they're at. So that is my Where's Wally socks out of Stray Cat yarn and the Where's Wally colorway. And of course those are living in my Waldo bag. So I'm really excited about those. I'm really excited about my Wenda costume. I think I may have found a jean skirt. I haven't bought it yet, but I found it online. So that's good for my Wenda costume. And then the only thing left is some glasses, which I think I have found also. It's the same place I got my Amy Pond, Dr. Who glasses. It's zenny.com. They have really cheap, you can get prescriptions or you can just get plain. So I just get the plain because I don't wear prescriptions yet. I do for reading sometimes, but I don't know where my actual glasses went, and they're really old, so I probably need to get my eyes checked again. But if you need prescription glasses, they have a ton of selection. Zenni.com, Zenni.com. They have a ton of selection of different frames, and they're very reasonably priced. So they're great for costume pieces, and they do sunglasses too as well. So that's where I'm going to get the glasses, and then if I can find a camera to hang around my neck, I will. If not, then I will leave that for another time. But this costume's coming together, which I'm really excited about. Gen Con will be here before I know it, so I'm trying to get everything done ahead of time. So I won't be like last year trying to knit socks during Gen Con to wear at Gen Con. Luckily they were little footy socks, and I started them on the way down, and I wore them Friday, I think. And that was a little stressful trying to finish them, but they turned out well, and I'm still enjoying those socks. And yeah, so that's my costume update. Set sail, nothing. I've cast on those new socks, and everything's kind of been getting a little attention here and there, or a lot of attention here and there, because I generally just take one thing with me for the day and then work on that, and then the next day take something else. So I'm not a monogamous knitter. I can be sometimes, but I tend to, especially if I have a long meeting and I take something with me and I work on it all day, then I get home and I'm like, I don't want to work on that anymore. Like, I have to take something else the next day. So it's nice to have a variety of projects for different occasions. All right. Well, I guess in set sail I can talk about what I'm wearing. First I have my new shirt that says, "My cat thinks I'm cool." Because my cat does think I'm cool. Other people may not think I'm cool, but at least my cat does. You know, it's a little consolation. I'm wearing my Chimera cardigan. It's also in black. Oh, there you go. You can see the cable. This is by Amy Herzog in the Fit to Flatter book. That's where I knit it from. And it's out of Cascade Sport in jet black, I think. Or jet. I don't remember. It's pretty much black, but it does have a little bit of gray in it. If you want black, you'll have to go to their real black, which is what those socks are out of. But this is kind of the jet colorway, so it's almost black, but it has a little bit of gray in it. It's like a heathered black. That's what I would call it. And it's got this nice cable that goes up and over. And it's knit in pieces, and then you seam it, and then knit on the collar and the button bands. And I got a little button happy on this sweater. There are 11 buttons. And that's a lot of buttons, let me tell you. It's kind of ridiculous. I keep meaning to take them off and put fewer on, and I just haven't done it yet. So I just wear it with the crazy amount of buttons, and you can call me Crazy Button Lady. I don't care. So that's this sweater, and I finished it last April. No, last May. I finished it on Memorial Day. I think I seamed the whole thing together. I remember during the Choral Festival last year, I was knitting on the sleeves, which seemed like they would never end. And then Memorial Day, we had game day over at a friend's house, and I took the thing with me and I just seamed the whole thing up. And then later that week, because my mother-in-law was visiting, we went and picked out the buttons, and I sewed on the grosgrain ribbon on the back. Sorry, this is black, so I'm like trying to show it, but there's grosgrain ribbon on the back, and then sewed on the ridiculous amount of buttons. Hi! You wanna come say hi? This is Pantalaimon, the cat. You wanna say hi? Say hi. They wanna see your cute little face. So he's going to be apparently be joining me. Are you going to sit on my lap now? He's just mostly interested with what's on the table here, which I will show you in a little bit. So that is it for set sail. In terms of Flora and Fauna, I was trying to come up with something right before I hit record on this, just because I felt like this was going to be a really short episode because I didn't have a ton to show you. And I thought I would share a little bit about how I use the different functions on Ravelry. I know people use them a little bit differently. In terms of projects, yes, I always store my projects in there, and I always keep track of the yarn. I try to keep track of the needle size, especially if I have to go back and fix things. It's really convenient to have the needle size there, especially if I didn't use what the pattern called for. And I try to keep fairly good pattern notes. I'm not the best at it, but especially if I've made a modification or if I want to make a note that might be helpful for other knitters, those are usually the type of notes I put in there. Or if I want to say like, hey, I knit this, during such and such event, then I'll put that in there. But that's generally how I use the project page, and I try to keep fairly up to date with that. With the pictures, it's pretty easy to snap a picture on my phone and then upload it through the internet browser on that. And so that's generally how I do that. And I'm pretty good about taking pictures once it's done. I'm terrible about taking pictures in progress. So there's a lot of finished pictures and not so many in progress pictures. So yeah, that's one thing I'm trying to get better about. The other thing is the queue. I use that, I keep mine fairly short, and I use that for things that, oh, bye cat. I use that for things that I'm going to knit very soon, or also things on my wish list, because that's another function that you can do through the queue. You can't do that in favorites. You can only do that in your queue, is to keep a wish list of especially paid for patterns that you haven't necessarily bought yet. So that's what I try to do for that, is keep it very short. It's usually 1, maybe even 2 pages. And it's things that either I've promised to knit for someone, or I've kind of promised to knit for myself, or I've bought yarn for, and I try to, once I put the project in the queue, I put the yarn with it, because you can do that. And you can say, I'm going to use this yarn. Because I'm a project knitter, and I buy yarn specifically for certain projects. So I tend to pair the yarn fairly early on, just so that I remember what I bought it for. I mean, generally I remember what I bought it for. I don't have a huge stash, but it helps me keep track of things. My favorites is very long, and I have a ton in there, and I do tag them in terms of categories. And what I tend to do is that if I want to knit a certain project, I go into my favorites, and I, like, say I want to knit a shawl. I go into my favorites and I click shawl and I browse through there. So I'm like, hey, I have this yarn and I want to knit a shawl. And I go browse through there and pick one out and pair it with the yarn that I have sitting in my hand as I'm looking at this list of shawls. Or if I say, hey, I'm about to go to a fiber event, I'm going to go and look at my patterns and see which ones I do not have yarn for yet. And then I'll make a list and go to the event and buy things for said patterns. But that's generally where I keep my list of things that I would like to make someday, or things that I like. And so that's the really long list. And then usually once I've knit something, I take it out of my favorites. And so I try to keep that to things that I have not knit and things that I would like to knit, or kind of inspiration things. Sometimes I'll favorite other people's patterns. Not other people's, other people's projects as kind of inspiration for things that I would like to do. Because maybe I favorited that pattern, but I like their modifications and I'd like to, use their notes or something like that. So that's kind of what I use the Q and the favorites for. I know everyone uses them a little bit differently. In terms of the stash, I am very good about keeping my stash up to date. Pretty much as soon as I buy the yarn, I keep it kind of all together. I show it on the podcast and then take pictures of it, or I'll take pictures of it and then show it on the podcast and then put it away. And I like to do that because I like to have a list of what I have. I'm not as good about marking what yarn I've used up. So sometimes, when you finish a project, you can mark how much yarn you've used. I'm not as good at that. Sometimes I'll go through and do it on a whole bunch of projects all at once. And I'll just have to search for the leftover yarn and weigh that and figure out how much yarn I've used up. I'm going to try to be better about doing that kind of as I go, because it's a lot easier to do it as you go, because you finish the project and as you're cleaning out that project bag, you're putting the yarn with your scraps, you're putting the needles away, stuff like that, and it's easier to just weigh it right there before putting it away and having to do that. So that's something I'm trying to get better about. But I'd love to hear how you guys use your Q and favorites. I think those are the things that people use them differently for. I've heard some people's Qs are super, super long, and they just put in everything that they like, they would maybe want to knit someday, which is more like how I use my favorites. That's a list of things that I would like to make someday. And, every once in a while I'll go through and say, I like that pattern at one point, but I don't think it's exactly what I want to do right now, and, I'll take it off. So I try to go through there every once in a while and kind of prune it a little bit down to things that I'd really, really like to make. And yeah, I hope that was helpful for you in some way or another. All right, so that was Flora and Fauna. I have nothing from the mainland, but I do have a from my holiday. I would like to show you a little Lego creation that I made yesterday. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this. And what inspired it was, at the moment, in the Lego store, if you go, I guess, to any Lego store, there's a wall, generally in the back of the store, called the Pick-a-Brick wall. And right now, you can go, sorry, I'm trying to take this off so I can show you part of it. And you can go and they either, you have, I'll show you this thing. You can get a cup and fill it up with any Lego from the wall that you want. But at the moment, they have these like build a mini kind of things, not build a minifig, but build a mini model. And they have instructions on how to build it, and they have, which pieces you need off the wall, and they're very clearly marked. And the one that is right now is actually a set of little giraffes. And so you have the mama giraffe and the baby giraffe, and they're really cute. So you can either buy a whole bucket full of things, or you can buy just pieces to make this little set of giraffes, and they're really cute. And so I, of course, wanted a whole herd of giraffes, so I got a bucket, and so I filled up with the bucket with the pieces for the giraffes. So I made a whole herd of giraffes yesterday. So here's another one. Oh, your legs are falling off, little one. And there's another baby. And then I filled the rest up with some other random pieces for flowers and trees and green things. And because I wanted to not just make a whole herd of giraffes, I wanted to make a little scene. So this is what I made. I made a tree. So there's a bunch of these green pieces there. So I got a bunch of these big green pieces, which you can see on the bottom, and then built a trunk out of some brown pieces that I got. And then my husband was saying, you know, the tree's kind of tall. I don't know if the giraffes are going to be able to eat off of it because it was way up here. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to build down. So I had a bunch of these green slope pieces because that's what they happen to have on the wall at the moment. I mean, you just kind of have to go with what's on the wall. And so I just started building down from the top, and then I had these green round kind of see-through pieces, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're fruit that's not quite ripe yet. I don't know. I just made something up. So this is my little Lego tree, and it's got 2 of the baby giraffes on it. Let me take them off here. That one. Their legs often come off when you're trying to take them off things. But there you can kind of see more of the tree. And then I got these little flowers, so there's just a few little flowers around. But that's my little Lego creation. So the giraffes are kind of a mini set that you can buy, and then the rest was just kind of my creation of weirdness. There was really no rhyme or reason. I just kind of started putting things on the tree. I was like, oh, that kind of works. So I realized this side of the tree is a little heavier than the other side, and then we thought, well, maybe the giraffes are eating off this side and not this side. Whatever, you just make up a story to go along with what you built, and it works. That's kind of my strategy. You make something and then you build up a story to explain the craziness that you just made. So this is really fun. I did this yesterday morning, right before I had to leave for another meeting. So, ta-da! There's my little Lego giraffe tree creation. I hope you enjoy it. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye for this week. I'm sorry I've had a series of short episodes. I had a series of long ones and now a series of short ones. So hopefully in the future, we'll kind of work out a happy medium between the two. But in the meantime, oh, there's a bird outside. Cat's sleeping. Oh, the bird story. Okay, I forgot about this one. So yesterday was Saturday. Friday at work, I was walking to work from the train, and I saw this bird on the ground. I was like, oh, poor bird died. And so I was just going to move it out of the way so that it's not kind of in the main walkway and that it can be dead in peace. And then I realized it was alive. It wasn't dead. Because it's like twitching. And I'm like, oh God, this thing's like really dead, like almost dead. And so I picked it up because I thought, oh, let's see how dead it is. And I think it just hit a wall really hard. I think it was flying and just flew into a window really hard and then like fell onto the pavement. And the pavement was kind of warm because it was a warm morning. And I was like, this poor bird is probably just like stunned out of like its mind and just needs to rest. So I carried it to work in my hand like this, just kind of lying on its side, like half dead looking. And I gave it a little bit of water, like I put some water on my finger and put it in its beak, and then it started perking up. And after like 20 minutes, it was like standing in my hand and like looking around. And I posted the picture on Instagram. It was a Swainson's thrush. I looked it up while I was holding it in my hand. I'm like, let's find out what kind of bird you are. So I have a cool app on my phone that allows me to look up types of birds based on what they look like and where you found them. It's really handy when you're like, what kind of bird is that? Pretty great. And I named him Speckles. I don't actually know if it was he, but because there's really no differentiation between male and female as there is in some sort of birds. Like you look, like the red cardinal is definitely the male, and the female cardinal is definitely brown with some red on her. And with the Swainson's thrush, they're just kind of all look the same. But he has this like nice speckled chest. So I'm like, Speckles, that's kind of a gender neutral name because this turns out to be a female. So I just kind of held him in my hand for a while, and he was just very content to sit there, which was kind of odd, but I think he probably was just really in shock. And after a while, he was looking, much better, and so I just put him on the ground in a very out-of-the-way area, and he just kind of hopped away a little bit and then looked back at me. I'm like, it's okay, you can go. And so I just kind of watched him for a little bit, and he just kind of sat there, and then he looked to be all right. So I went back inside and did some work, and I don't know, a couple hours later I went out, and he had moved, so I'm like, okay, he's probably doing all right. So that was my little bird saving story. So I don't actually know if he survived, but I'm going to pretend like he did, and I'm going to say that, at least he was better off than if I just let him lay on the pavement. So I hope Speckles is doing all right. I'll never know, but that's okay. It was a fun way to start Friday morning. He was just really just sweet, content to just sit there with his eyes closed in my hand, and he was really cute. So I'm glad I got to help out that little birdie, and hope all is well. So with that sweet little story, I will leave you for the week. Happy Mother's Day again, and I will see you all in a week. All right, bye.